Good day, everyone. So this is our last topic under of the core subject human geography. Topic number 8, economic development. These are the subtopics: how economic development is measured, how social and demographic characteristics relate to development, variations in the level of development among regions, and how countries can promote economic development. Now, let us first differentiate what is economic growth and economic development. So, when we say economic growth, it is a type of quantitative measure that reflects the potential increase in the number of business transactions taking place in the economy. So, it is more on the monetary value of all goods and services produced in the economy during a period of time. It can be measured by using the economic concepts such as yung GDP or yung gross domestic product and the GNP or the gross national product. Economic growth is a narrow concept when compared to economic development. Because when we say economic development, it is the overall development of a country that is based on various parameters such as the creation of job opportunities, the advancement of technology, the standard of living of human being in that specific country, the living condition, the per capita income, the quality of life, and even the infrastructural development of a country. In our discussion last time in the Foundation of Social Studies, we give emphasis on the different discipline of social science, and one of that discipline is economic. When we say economics, it focuses on the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. It includes a wide range of our daily activities, including what we do for a living and how we spend our money. In our discussion also in Foundation of Social Studies, we also learned that in economics, there are so-called three basic problems that we have to answer, right? What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Knowing these questions would help the country to decide or help us as human being or as a citizen of that country in terms of decision making. Now, in terms of economics and geography, it helps us to understand how wealth, even the power or influence, is created. Like example, in terms of money and influence of an economic system, it plays an important role in the life or the standard of living. If you can still remember the political economic ideology of Marxism, also you may find the Marxist social science methodology known as historical materialism, the theory of history associated with the German economist and philosopher Karl Marx and his colleague Friedrich Engels, that in terms of production law, the social status serve as one of the factors in terms of mode of production. For us to have a deep understanding what is historical materialism, we have here a link so you can search and deep your knowledge in terms of historical materialism. How economic development is measured. We have here GDP, GNP, PPP, and the GDP or GNP per capita. Let us first focus on what is GDP or the gross domestic product. It pertains to the value of the finished domestic goods and services produced within a nation's border in a given period of time. On the other hand, we have here the national or gross national product, the GNP, wherein it pertains to the value of all finished goods and services produced by a country's citizens both domestically and abroad in a given period of time. So, yung GNP, yun yung tinatawag natin, kung natatandaan nyo, no kayo ay nasa high school, palagi sinasabi ng ating mga features for us to easily identify yung difference nung dalawa. GNP, gawa ng Pinoy sa loob at labas. Well, gross domestic products, gawa dito sa Pinas. So, gross national product, combination of domestic and international. Gross domestic product, total value of products and services within the country. We have the PPP, wherein it explains the relationship between product price level and the exchange rates. Also, it compares economic growth and standards of living in different countries with a common currency or common baskets of goods approach. We know that money can buy goods and services. Without money, probably we cannot be able to buy the goods and services that we want to, meaning money has a purchasing power. Now, let's try to understand that a $1 or 1 ruby is not similar to the value of 1 peso, meaning they have a different degree of purchasing power. While when we say GDP or GNP per capita, it indicates the average economic well-being of people within the country. So, assuming that dividing the Philippines GDP by its population is an estimated of how much income the country produces per person per year. So, the GDP per capita is estimated of nation's average standard of living. Meaning, in order for us to have a good living standard, we have also to ensure that our economy is growing. So these are the disadvantage of gross national product. First, difficulty in accounting for quality changes in gross national product. Second, commodity taxes inflate the value of GNP without any increase in the value of physical output. Third, a number of services remain excluded from the GNP estimate despite their high contribution to development and welfare. Fourth, problems of unreported and illegal activities. Last but not the least, we have that not all activities have a monetary value. How social and demographic characteristics relate to development. Social and demographic characteristics play a significant role in influencing development outcomes in individuals and in a community or in the society. These characteristics encompass a wide range of factors that can impact various aspects of human development, including the economic, even the social and political dimension. It is said that there is economic progress if there are improvements such as having an improved health and medical services, which directly affects the population size, the age, sex structure, and the labor force participation. So these are the demographic indicators that could influence or could affect or has a role in terms of economic development. So we have the fertility, mortality, which these two are the key demographic factors that have a significant impact on population dynamics and the overall development of societies. So when we say fertility, it refers to the level of reproduction within a population, specifically the number of children born to women of childbearing age in a given period. So, kapag naman mortality, it refers to the death rate within population. Another demographic indicators, the migration or the movement of an individual from one place to another. We discussed already that there is or there are two kinds of migration, composition of population, distribution of population, and natural increase. So these are some of the demographic indicators. Doon sa composition of population, nakapaloob dito yung age, yung gender, yung sex, marital status, also if a person is skilled or unskilled, kasama po yan sa composition of population. Variations in the level of development among regions. The map shows developed and developing countries. Most countries in the southern hemisphere are developing, while most countries in the northern hemisphere are developed. So, ito po yung tinatawag nating global north and global south. Global north implies the developed economies, while global south implies the underdeveloped or developing economies. Or kadalasan ito yung tinatawag natin mga developing countries. So, sa Global South, mostly makikita po natin ito doon sa Latin America or it pertains to Latin America, Asia, Africa, and some part of Oceania. Mostly have a low income and often politically or culturally marginalized. In general, Global South refers to these countries' interconnected histories of colonialism, neo-imperialism, and other social issues in which majority, malaki din ang difference ng social status, ano yung living standards, even life expectancy. Ayan. And hindi rin gano'n name-maintain yung GDP and GNP. Given the fact that different countries in developing world are at very different stages of development, sabi nga iba-iba yung pace ng bawat country, factors such as climate and the type of government is important to a country's development. So, malaki po ang factor ng climate and the type of government. Yan man ay democratic or um, dictatorial, there is a role or meron tong effect to the development of a country. Ano po? So, the most well-off developing countries are the newly industrial countries like the South Korea. Kita naman natin kung ano yung development or gaano na-maintain din naman at mas lalong ini-improve ng South Korea yung kanilang economy. So, like what I said, physical or the climate itself, and other factors ay maaaring makaapekto doon sa development ng bawat country. Physical factors, of course, we have the climate. Any extreme climate will hinder development. For example, if a country experience being too hot or too cold, too wet or too dry. This makes food production difficult. Of course, knowing the weather serve as one of the factors in terms or indicators, one of the indicators po in terms of food production. The countries which have severe climatic problems like drought or yung pagkatuyo can hamper development. This means they are unable to produce enough food to feed their population. So, yan ay isa sa mga factors na tinitingnan in terms po ng economic development, the climate. In connection with the previous slide, any extreme in weather will make a life difficult. Even the bodies of water and landforms in a country could affect to the way of living, to the culture, to the beliefs, tradition, and most important, to the growth and development of a country. In connection pa rin sa physical factors, another example, as you can see on the map, it shows some of the areas recently affected by natural hazards. So Mozambique has suffered serious flooding in recent years. The Philippines has been devastated by Typhoon Haiyan o yung tinatawag nating Typhoon Yolanda. Pakistan and Haiti have been affected by massive earthquakes. Ethiopia is currently affected by drought. Areas like to be hit by floods, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or by drought tend to remain less developed. So if you are familiar with the Pacific Ring of Fire, countries that along with that path, yung mga bansang nakapalibot sa Pacific Ocean, experience tectonic movement or mostly experience earthquake like the Philippines due to not only dahil nung path but majority ay meron silang mataas na bilang ng volcanoes. So, yung kaninang nabanggit ko regarding sa Typhoon Haiyan or locally known as Typhoon Yolanda is one of the most powerful typhoons in history, wherein it happened on November 8, 2013, and it really severely damaged the country. So, billions ang kumbaga ay naubos or billions yung nawala sa iba't ibang places or provinces within the Philippines. So it is true that areas lacking in mineral resources such as oil, coal, and diamonds, and areas with poor soils will remain less developed kasi alam naman natin kung ano or gaano kahalaga ang mineral resources or mga yamang mineral, kumbaga. So, oil is in great demand, so can be sold for a huge profit, giving them a high GDP. So, if we will observe those countries in Middle East or in the Arabian Peninsula, mostly sa kanila, those desierto, mainit, but they are rich in terms of mineral. That's why it helped them also in terms of growing or developing their country. However, war and other conflict prevent a country to develop. Areas that are naturally linked to endemic diseases will also struggle to develop. Kung merong mga diseases or mga sakit, lalo na kung ito ay kumalat within that country or within a continent, malaki ang magiging factor nun. So many countries, especially in the continent of Africa, have suffered a development setback due to AIDS and malaria. So researchers have concluded that the world lost on average 1.3 years of human development progress due to AIDS pandemic between the 1982 and 1992. So, ano ba yung malaria? So, malaria po is a serious and sometimes fatal disease caused by a parasite that commonly infects a certain type of mosquito. Since we already mentioned a while ago endemic, let us identify or know or understand its difference doon sa epidemic and pandemic. Since ito yung mga salita na nauso, especially in 2020, 2021 hanggang itong pandemic na naranasan natin. So when we say endemic, it describes a disease that is consistently present in a specific region. Example, yung malaria in many tropical regions of Africa. It means only that when we say endemic, it occurs already regularly and expected within that specific place or within a specific area. While when we say epidemic, it describes a sudden increase in number of cases in a particular area. Yung biglang outbreak agad. Ayan. So, kapag naman pandemic, of course, it refers to the global outbreak of a disease that affects a large portion of the world's population, like the COVID-19 pandemic. So, in terms of human factors, high population growth will generally limit development since resources such as food, space, and water will have to be spread more thinly. We can relate here the theory of Thomas Malthus or Robert Malthus with regards to his Malthusian theory of population. In our second bullet, there may be a low level of industrialization with few factories and offices. So developing countries tend to have more jobs in the primary sector with low levels of trade and often under the influence of multinational companies. The resulting profits often go abroad and tend not to be revisited in the country. Here, I just remember here, yung song ng Glock 9 entitled Walang Natira. So, I think we can connect that song in the second bullet. So, political system can affect development. Many African countries such as Liberia, Sudan, and Somalia have been plagued by civil war, and this has impeded development. So, of course, problems and conflicts have direct impact on the agricultural production and foreign investment of a country, such as what happened to Africa. So, malaki talaga ang factor ng like example, yung political system or type of government within that specific place. All of the 20 countries at the bottom of the United Nations Development Program or the UNDP HDI for 2012 are ruled or have been ruled by dictatorship. So this is connected to what I mentioned a while ago that in terms of political system, it could affect to the development and the growth of a country. So as you can see here in our slide, the HDI or the Human Development Index, we have here the dimension, indicators, and dimension index. So for dimension, we have the long and healthy life, the knowledge, and the decent standard of living. So tinitingnan po yan in terms of HDI. So HDI was created to emphasize that people and their capabilities should be ultimately the criteria for assessing the development of a country. So, malaki kasing factor na tinitingnan yung mga nabanggit kanina. So, how countries can promote economic development? So, we have three principles of economic development: the export, the productivity, and the sustainability. These pillars are the core support of economic development in the FIS. With too much or too little investment in any of the three, the structure becomes unstable because the base of all economic development is investment. And when private investment fails to meet the community's particular needs, public investment or public or private partnership may be necessary. That's why malaki yung gampanin even the private sectors. Hindi kasi kakayanin kung public sectors lang ang gagalaw or magpo-provide sa needs ng citizen. There must be the collaborations and cooperation between the two, the private and public institution. So in promoting economic development, it is a complex goal that it involves various policies, strategies, and investment. Given the fact that specific approaches can vary based on the country's unique circumstances. So in our slide, we will be able to see the different factors of economic development: political stability, macroeconomic stability, levels of infrastructure, natural resources, educational standards, saving rates or foreign aid, barriers to trade. So these are some of the factors of economic development. That this implies in terms of economic development, it must be a long-term or it is a long-term process. And the success depends on sustained efforts, effective governance, and adaptability in terms of changing world. Okay? So, as I end this lesson, we as teacher must guide and open our students on the importance of promoting economic development as we equip them with knowledge, values, and most important, the skills as they make choices and contribute to their communities, or choices and contribution within our country. So I hope you learned something today. See you and God bless. Bye everyone. Keep safe.